Did you know that Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in history, didn't speak fluently until he was almost 4 years old? His parents were even worried that something was wrong with him. And yet, this same child would grow up to change the way we understand the universe. Welcome to this video, where we bring you an inspiring and engaging story. And guess what? You also get to improve your English. Learn English through stories as we dive into the incredible life of Albert Einstein. It was a cold day in March 1879 when Albert Einstein was born. He was born in the small German town of Ulm. His mother, Pauline, and father, Hermann, were simple people. His father owned an electrical business, while his mother loved music and played the violin beautifully. But when baby Albert arrived, something seemed unusual. He had an unusually large head. His grandmother even gasped and said, "Too fat, too fat." But the doctor assured them that everything was fine. As Albert grew up, he was quiet and slow in speaking. His parents would try to talk to him, but he would just stare at them. They thought he might never speak. But one evening, as the family was having dinner, little Albert finally spoke. He said, "The soup is too hot." His parents were shocked. "Why didn't you ever say anything before?" his mother asked. Albert simply replied, "Because everything was fine until now." Albert was a curious child. He loved to explore and think deeply about things. One day, his father gave him a simple gift, a compass, a device that shows direction. Little Albert was fascinated. He turned it around, but the needle always pointed north. Why? He wondered. What invisible force is pulling it? That small compass lit a spark. He realized that there were hidden forces in the world, things we cannot see but are always there. But school was not a happy place for Albert. His teachers thought he was slow and lazy. He hated the strict rules and memorization. One teacher even told him, "You will never be successful." Albert's heart broke, but he did not stop learning. Instead of memorizing, he preferred to think, imagine, and ask questions. He was often lost in his own world, dreaming about mysteries of space and time. At home, he found comfort in music. His mother's love for the violin passed on to him. He would play for hours. Music helped him think. Later, Einstein would say that whenever he was stuck on a scientific problem, he played his violin, and the answers seemed to come naturally. At the age of 16, something shocking happened. Albert dropped out of school. He could no longer bear the system. But he was not giving up on learning. He applied to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, Switzerland. However, he failed the entrance exam. But here's the interesting part. He failed only in non-math and science subjects. His talent in physics and mathematics was extraordinary. He studied hard and passed the exam next year. In Zurich, he met a young woman named Mileva Marek. She was one of the few female students in the university. Mileva was intelligent, and they often discussed physics and philosophy. Soon, they fell in love and got married. Life, however, was not easy for Einstein. Even after graduating, he struggled to find work. He applied for many positions but got rejected. Finally, he found work at a patent office, a place where new inventions are officially recorded. This job might seem boring, but it was perfect for Einstein. His work was easy, giving him time to think about the mysteries of the universe. Then, something incredible happened. In 1905, while working at the patent office, Einstein wrote 4 groundbreaking papers, important scientific writings, in 1 year. These papers would change science forever. One of them introduced a famous equation, E equals mc squared. This equation showed that energy and mass are interchangeable. This discovery later led to the creation of nuclear energy. But Einstein was not just a scientist. He was also a free thinker. When he received his doctorate, highest degree in education, he refused to wear formal shoes, choosing comfortable slippers instead. People often saw him walking around with messy hair, lost in thought. He was different, and he was proud of it. Fame came suddenly. In 1919, an experiment proved his theory of relativity correct. This theory changed the way people understood space and time. Newspapers called him a genius. Einstein became a celebrity. Everyone wanted to meet him, to hear his ideas. He traveled the world, giving lectures and inspiring young scientists. But trouble grew. In the 1930s, Adolf Hitler rose to power in Germany. Einstein, being Jewish, was no longer safe in his homeland. He fled to the United States and joined Princeton University. There, he continued his work, but he also became a voice for peace. He warned the world about the dangers of nuclear weapons. Even though his equation E equals mc squared had helped in the development of the atomic bomb, he deeply felt sad about it. He wished science would be used for good, not for destruction. Einstein lived a simple life. Despite being one of the greatest scientists, he never cared about money or luxury. He disliked wearing socks and often forgot where he put his things. His mind was always busy thinking about the mysteries of the universe. Even in his later years, he continued to explore big questions. He wanted to find a single theory that could explain everything in the universe. But time was running out. On April 18, 1955, at the age of 76, Albert Einstein passed away. But his ideas live on. His work has shaped modern science in ways he never imagined. His story is not just about intelligence. It's about curiosity, perseverance, never giving up, and the courage to think differently. Einstein's influence only deepened. Even though he had achieved worldwide fame, he remained humble and focused on the mysteries of the universe. He spent his later years at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, surrounded by young scientists eager to learn from him. But even as he explored great scientific questions, his heart was always with humanity. One of the most surprising things about Einstein was his sense of humor. Despite his genius, he never took himself too seriously. He once said, "A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new." He loved jokes and often played the violin to relax. Music, he believed, was deeply connected to physics. But life was not without regrets. Einstein was deeply troubled by the development of nuclear weapons. Although he had played a small role by signing a letter to President Roosevelt that led to the creation of the atomic bomb, he later became a strong advocate for peace. He warned world leaders about war and destruction. He once said, "I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." In his final years, Einstein continued working on a grand idea, the unified field theory. He wanted to find a single equation explaining all forces of nature. Though he never succeeded, his efforts inspired future scientists to continue the search. On April 17, 1955, Einstein suffered internal bleeding caused by an aneurysm, a weak spot in a blood vessel. Doctors offered surgery, but he refused, saying, "I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go." The next morning, on April 18th, Albert Einstein passed away peacefully at the age of 76. His last words were in German, but the nurse who was with him did not understand them. His final thoughts remain a mystery. His brain became a curiosity. Scientists studied it to find the secret of his genius, but what they discovered was not a larger brain, but a different structure. His brain had more connections in the areas related to thought and reasoning. However, Einstein himself believed that true genius was not about brain structure, but about curiosity and imagination. Today, Einstein's legacy lives on. His discoveries continue to shape modern science, from space travel to quantum physics. His theories have helped us understand black holes, gravity, and even the expanding universe. His face, with his wild hair and kind eyes, is one of the most recognizable in the world. His influence remains strong, but more than his scientific achievements, it is his philosophy of life that remains truly inspiring. He taught us that intelligence is not about memorizing facts, but about thinking deeply and questioning everything. He believed in kindness, peace, and the power of imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge, he once said. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world. Einstein's story is proof that it is okay to be different. It is okay to think in your own way, to ask big questions, and to follow your curiosity. No matter where you come from or how many challenges you face, you can change the world. So, as we finish this incredible journey through Einstein's life, remember his most important lesson: never stop being curious. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking why. Who knows? Maybe you will be the next great mind to shape the future. Thank you for joining us. See you in the next story.